Even though you've been studying English for years, you still can't speak it, can you? The problem isn't grammar or vocabulary. I'll tell you the real problem now. Listen carefully. You understand English, but you can't speak it because you're missing the most important thing, which is listening. In this video, I'll explain how listening will automatically improve your speaking and the easiest way to do it. Before that, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and listen carefully. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll explain how important listening really is, something most people avoid or don't do when learning English, and how you can easily and effectively practice listening to English and harness the power of listening. Alright, if you're ready, grab your coffee, sit back, and get into listening mode. Let's get started with the video. Nowadays, people who want to learn English or any other language argue that the first thing they need to do is learn the grammar rules. Because of this, they dive straight into books or grab vocabulary lists and try to memorize them word by word. Of course, these are very important and effective techniques, but they are not the heart of language learning, and certainly not the heart of learning English. The heart of language learning and of learning English is listening. Listening and reading are always the most important things that get you talking. Because no matter how much input you give your brain will give you that much output. Now take a deep breath and think. When you were a baby, did you ever open a grammar book and try to learn every single rule by heart? Did you take lists of words and try to read and memorize them? Or did you take an exam and only start speaking after passing a certain level? Of course not. You and everyone else like you listened and only listened as a baby. You listened to your family, to those around you, to conversations, to everything. This process lasted for months, even years, and then one day, without any effort or thought, we started speaking on our own. Of course, we didn't speak at length at first, but we started making words or sounds, and things started coming out of our mouths, didn't they? So, the natural way to learn a language is to listen to it a lot. First, you go through the process of learning the language. Then, your speaking comes out naturally. But when it comes to communication, we forget this, and no one thinks about it, or we forget this process that you went through out of necessity. That's why we start learning a language with grammar. We try to learn the rules, we try to speak, but we have no foundation. So, what will the result be? Of course, as we all know, we'll get bored while speaking, words won't come to mind, we'll get excited while speaking, and we'll get stuck right there. Friends, I'm solving this in a very simple and clear way. Go back to the listening stage. In other words, when learning a language, focus on listening. Listen more than you learn grammar. Listen more than you try to write. This is the most important thing for us. So what happens is this. When you listen enough and get enough input, speaking will start to flow naturally. You will be able to speak English naturally without any difficulty or hesitation. Well, you might say that listening is difficult. Yes, you may feel that way when you first start listening to English, because everyone who isn't a native English speaker will find it difficult to understand fast speech, compound words, idioms, and everyday English phrases when they start learning English and listening to English. This is perfectly normal. Don't worry. When you watch a video or listen to something here, you don't need to understand every word or every sentence. The important thing is to hear the sounds of English and feel its rhythm. When you listen to or watch something, you actually understand the melody of English. You understand how you speak in your native language and how English speakers speak in their native language. This helps you understand the difference between the two, and that is the most important thing for us. Just think about it. You're listening to a song. Let's say it's a song you really love. We don't translate the notes one by one as we listen, do we? We let ourselves be carried away by the music and enjoy ourselves. What matters there is not understanding the words one by one. We focus on what we feel, what the melody makes us feel. It works the same way when learning a language. As you listen to something over and over again, your brain tries to understand and make sense of the texts and concepts you hear by connecting them on its own. It recognizes the sounds in English, begins to distinguish the words, and at the same time deciphers the rhythm of English. Furthermore, this situation gradually and over time allows us to develop our familiarity with English in our minds. For those who say, I want to practice listening and apply listening exercises, I will share a great practical exercise for you to do. This technique is called shadowing. I have many podcasts and videos about shadowing on my channel. After watching this video, you can check out those videos to learn more about shadowing. I have also left a link to the video in the cards section. Let me briefly summarize the technique. The shadowing technique is a wonderful language learning and reinforcement technique where you both listen and speak at the same time. You open an audio recording or a video of a person speaking. First, you listen to it or watch it without stopping. Then, when you open it again, you try to practice it. Now, let's go through the shadowing technique step by step. I'll explain it. As a first step, you need to select a simple audio recording or video text. Ideally, this video text should be at a level that you can understand at a rate of 70%. As a second step, simply listen to the audio recording or video text from start to finish. At this point, it is important to understand the image, tone, and flow of what you are listening to. In the third step, reopen the text we listened to previously, and this time, as the person opposite you speaks, you need to repeat the same sentences in the same way. You speak without stopping the recording you are listening to, and you do not think while speaking. At this point, the thing you need to pay attention to is that no matter how many mistakes you make, never stop, just keep going completely. In the final step, you can do the work we did in the previous steps several times during the day, and I am sure that if you do this exercise every day, you will get good results. This is because shadowing is a very effective exercise that helps you understand the nature of language, and, once you understand it, enables you to produce that language. If you do this exercise for just 10 to 20 minutes a day, your English will improve significantly from today onwards. This is because this technique helps your ear get used to English more effectively, speeds up your speech so you don't have to think while speaking, and because it gives you speed, it reduces hesitations, and most importantly, it boosts your confidence. Friends, I would like to give you a warning at this point. When doing this work, don't fall into the trap of thinking that you need to have perfect language skills, or that you need to know all the words. The important thing here is to combine listening with visualization techniques. Remember, learning a language isn't about being fast. It's about making it a habit and growing with it. That's why small steps every day eventually lead to significant progress. Well, friends, we've come to the end of another video. I'm Mr. English Teacher. I hope this video has been useful to you. I invite you to my channel for this and similar podcasts and educational videos. Remember, I love you all. Take care of yourselves until we meet again in the next video. Bye for now.